we're going to take a look at introductions that are really non-traditional. And the reason why I bring this up is because we've got over the 5 steps of how to become successful in canvassing, and we're obviously anticipating that the homeowner is going to keep the door open and listen to what we have to say. Now, anyone who's ever at Canvas probably more than a day, no, that's not the reality. The reality in our world is we deal with a lot of different things that seem like they're off the cuff, but it's actually the same things that happen every single time. So I'm going to show you how to handle these typical non-traditional interruptions or objections that you get right off the bat in the introduction. Well, first of all, walking up to a home and you look at the front of the house and especially if you have exterior products, and you see that everything that you see, all the work is done. Where's the opportunity? So how do you handle that? The second part, getting cut off. How do you handle that? The third part, eating dinner. How do you handle someone's in the middle of dinner and not to feel that you're being rude? The fourth is being on the phone. Someone's on the phone. How do I talk to them when they're talking on the phone? I feel like they're pushing me away. Dealing with the no soliciting. In addition to that, people not opening the door. How do you get the door open? So those are the areas that are completely non-traditional that we're going to work on as far as how to get it done and how to become very successful handling those. So when you come up with a situation, of course what you should be doing every single time when you're walking down the driveway or walking up to the home, you're taking a view of the home, especially for the people who are doing exterior products and services to the home. So you take a snapshot, and if you're looking at the home and it looks like everything you can see, and you can usually only see the front or maybe some part of the side of the house when you're walking by, it looks like it's done. So if you notice what I did with that is I did the same. You don't have to change the beginning of your intro. It's the same thing. You're dropping off a notification. You're inviting someone to take a look at the work. You're letting them know what you're doing. But you notice the second part of the intro, I don't do the same way. And what I do is I catch it real quick and I say, oh, I've already noticed that you have some of this work done. And the reason being is that you don't want to sound like a robot and you sound like you don't know what you're looking at or talking about. When you walk up to a house, you can't tell that they have the work already done, and you catch it, and it doesn't put you in a lower position where the homeowner looks down onto you like, this kid's incompetent. What's he even talking about? So that's the reason why I have you, and you take the second part and notice it, and then simply ask if there's everything done. And you saw 2 different ways. If they say, yeah, all the work was done around the house, everything, there's nothing else to be done, and you have nothing else to offer to them, go, great, thanks for your time, and you leave. But the way it was set up is you still serve the same purpose. You were giving them a notification. It wasn't like you were trying to sell them something. So they don't think, well, why did he just knock on my door? Oh, he gave me a notification. Oh yeah, we had everything done, and he left. It was that simple. And it saves you a lot of time. So you can get to the next house and get more doors in. I can't tell you how many times people messed around and stand there where they have all the work done. There's no more opportunity left. And they're just wasting time at the door talking. And you could be on the next door getting another lead. So there's nothing you can do. If they have all the work done and you don't have any more services or product to offer, move on. So now, but if you notice, which is going to happen a lot of times, and I can't tell you over time, this is why you don't want to pre-qualify. If everything looks done on the home and everything looks great, you still want to knock on the doors, do the same part, and ask them, is anything going to be done? Is there anything in the back? Or anything? You'll be surprised how many times people go, no, we actually still are looking to do this or that. And now you have that lead. So don't give up that opportunity because you never know. And I can't tell you how many times that's happened. So that can pay off tremendously for you just by knocking on the door. And if they do say there's nothing else available, well, you didn't spend a lot of time. Get to the next door. Hello, hi. Hi. Hi, I'm just dropping off a notification, just to let you know we're going to be doing some work in the neighborhood. There might be some noise or dust. We do replacement windows. And I already noticed you had all new windows here, at least in the front of the house. Mm-hmm. Did you get all the windows done around the whole entire house, even the back sliding glass door, patio door?
Sure did.
You got everything done?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks for your time. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Hello, hi. Hi. Hi, good evening. I'm just dropping off a notification, just to let you know we're going to be doing some work in the neighborhood, and there might be some noise or dust. We do replacement windows. I already noticed that you have newer replacement windows here in the front of the house. Yeah. Did you get all the windows done, even the back sliding glass door, patio door?
No.
Oh, okay. We're actually going to be out here evenings or daytimes. We're actually giving out estimates. Are you generally around evenings, or is daytimes better for you?
Evenings.
Evenings? Okay, great. Now I have the street number here at 2824. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now, this has happened a lot canvassing. No matter where you canvass at, it's nothing that we can control, but someone comes to the door and you start your presentation and you're in introduction, and somewhere in that introduction they cut you off, and you don't have much time, and they start backing away. They're not interested. They're giving you that a little bit rude. Let's face the facts. First of all, don't ever let that bother you. You got to act like it's water off a duck's back. It never bothers you. But here's where you take control, and here's where you just got to go right for it. Whatever your product or service is, if you have exterior products and you can definitely see that there's an opportunity that looks like the best opportunity, like a roof, siding, doors, windows, go for the one that's the best opportunity. Or if it's interior or something in the backyard you can't see that you offer, just simply ask the question every single time. Great. Have you ever had an estimate and you go right into it and tell them? You're asking them a question. And this is an amazing methodology that works all the time, is you've now given them the chance to talk and say something. And you will find this unbelievable when you implement this, is they answer that question almost every single time, which is the no or yes, right, in the presentation. And we're moving right along in the presentation, and we come back with a response. And here's one of the amazing things by doing that. When they're talking and saying it, it stops them in their tracks. It's just like with telemarketing. No one ever hangs the phone up on a telemarketer right when they're talking, right? Until they're done talking, then they hang up the phone. Well, same thing. It stops them in their tracks, and they tell you, and now you buy yourself a little bit of time, but also you just springboarded yourself right into the presentation, and now you can get to that no and yes response and really handle that. So that's really the key with that, is stop them in their tracks right there by asking the question and get right to that transition. Don't worry about that you didn't get much of the introduction down. It doesn't matter. Go right for the question. Have you ever had an estimate? Hello, hi. Hi, good evening. I'm just dropping off a notification that we're going to be doing some work in the neighborhood. There might be some noise or dust.
No, thank you.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever had an estimate on your siding before?
No.
Well, the only reason why I ask, I spoke to many of your neighbors. They have the same original aluminum siding, and they're all complaining about the same thing, with the fading, the denting, the scratching, the oxidation, not to mention lack of insulation resulting in higher energy bills. We're just simply coming out offering affordable solutions to help solve those problems. And we're going to be out here evenings, daytimes, weekends. When's usually the best time to catch you?
Evenings.
Evenings? Great. And I have your street number here at 2824, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Eating dinner is a scenario that we're going to run into with canvassing. It's just human nature. We don't want to be bothering people while they're eating. Now, the eating dinner scenario is going to come up in two different forms. One, it's going to be anticipated. When we walk up to the house, if there's a window, we can see if they're all sitting down eating dinner. Oh, wow, we just walked up to their house, now we see them eating dinner. How do we handle that? And the other one is not anticipated. Well, we think it's just a regular presentation, and they come in and go, we're eating dinner. And it kind of throws you back a little bit. Well, how do I deal with that? I feel like I'm going to be pressuring them if I continue to keep on talking. But the key is, no matter what happens, when it's anticipated or not anticipated, it's the asking for permission. And you tie the same thing with your presentation, that notification. Here, I'm dropping this off to you just so you're aware of it. And that's all you make it. That's all we're going to be doing by that way. But the thing but you're kind of holding it back and saying, well, when can I drop this off to you? This notification, what's going on here in the neighborhood? And really, what it does is I'm trying to create the curiosity. Like, oh, he's just dropping something off, or something's going on in your neighborhood. What's this notification? And what it does, it spurs them to say, curiosity says, well, what is it? And if make that happen, now we've earned the right to go through the rest of the introduction and go through the presentation. Because they told me, now they can't come in and say, we're eating dinner, and they cut you off. And that's the advantage of that powerful question, is saying, when can I drop this off? When can I go over this with you real quick? And spurs the question, and it works every single time. And you handle that uncomfortable feeling that you might be bothering something, that human nature feeling of in the middle of dinner time. Oh, hello. I see you're sitting down.
Hi.
Hello. Hi, I see you're sitting down for dinner. I just have a notification that we're going to be doing some work in the neighborhood. When would be a better time to drop off the notification
What is
for
it?
you? Oh, what it is we're going to be doing some work in the neighborhood. There might be some noise or dust. Just want to let you know what's going on. We actually do bathroom work. We replace the tub and shower liners on the inside of the home for all the bathrooms. Well, actually, in the meantime, since we're going to be out here, we've actually scheduled several appointments of free estimates with many of your neighbors. So with that, are you folks generally around in the evenings, or is daytime's a better time to catch you?
Evenings.
Evenings? Oh, okay. Great. Now I have your street number here, 2824. Is that right? Hello. Hi. Hi.
We're in the middle of dinner.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice. Actually, I just have a notification of some construction going on here in our neighborhood. When's a better time I can drop the notification off to you?
Later in the evening.
Okay, great. I'll be back when later in the evening would be good for you.
Around 7.
Around 7? Okay. I'll see you then. All right,
Bye-bye.
bye. Sometimes you might encounter when someone comes to the door on the phone. Well, and you have to make this decision as the canvasser. What I see so many times is they say, well, should I have present and have 2 conversations? And you know you're not getting the homeowner's full attention. So you have to earn the right to earn your presentation. And that's why you got to get them off the phone. You have no use of trying to have them on the phone, because they're going to use that as a crutch, a stall to get you off the front porch. And we're going to eliminate them. So you just simply ask, you go, oh, is there a better time I can drop this off? It's a very similar technique that you're going to do with the notification while they're eating dinner. And use that and get them to do that. And a lot of times I go, well, what is it? They might ask that, and I go, oh, it looks like you're really busy on the phone. When's a better time when you might not be on the phone? And just by asking it the second time, you get them to see, hold on, let me call you back, and what is it? And you've earned the right. Sometimes you might get them off the phone, sometimes you might not. If not, then just move on and say, hey, I'll come by when you're not so busy on the phone. Hello.
Hi.
Oh. I see that you're on your phone. Actually, I just have a notification. There's going to be some construction work going on in your neighborhood. Is there a better time that you are not going to be on the phone? I can drop this off to you?
Hang on a second. Can I call you back? I got somebody at the door. Okay.
I appreciate that. This will take a second. I just want to drop this notification. We're going to be doing some work in the neighborhood. It might be some noise or dust. We do replace the windows, siding, and doors. In fact, we're going to be out here. We've actually scheduled several appointments for free estimates with many of your neighbors. So with that in mind, off that list, just out of curiosity, what might be the next home improvement you might look into for your home?
The windows?
The windows? Okay, great. Hello.
Hi.
I see that you're on your phone. Actually, I just have a notification to drop off. I know you're on your phone. When would be a better time I could drop this off?
This is a really important call. Could you come back in like 20 minutes, please?
Yeah, no problem. We'll see you in a bit. Thanks. When dealing with the no soliciting, now you see this coming an issue with canvassers thinking, well, if there's no soliciting in this neighborhood, if a sign no soliciting, how do I handle that? Well, there's a huge opportunity loss if you're not handling this. Just so you know, by Supreme Court ruling, you have every right to go and knock on doors. You're not exchanging money or doing anything like that. You're simply giving the homeowner scheduling appointments for information, and by law, you're allowed to do that. And certain municipalities, they have their own rules and regulations and everything like that. But if you handle this properly, the no soliciting, you can still knock on those doors, and you're going to get a tremendous amount of leads by doing that. But you got to handle it properly so you don't cause a problem when this happens. And again, there's going to be 2 scenarios that you're going to run into. Sometimes you knock on a door and someone tells you there's no soliciting allowed in this neighborhood, which you had no idea. There was no signs. There's nothing in view that you would know about that. So you're kind of taken aback of how do I handle this? Well, the second is sometimes they have a sign that says no soliciting, or that they put that on their door. But the key is with the no soliciting, and again, it's all the same approach. You're going there, and you want to be a little softer approach with this. But again, it's no different than making them aware of a notification. We're doing work in the area. There's something going on, just so you're aware. And I kind of subtly almost backing away, and now and now it's kind of done. And a lot of times they're going, oh, I'm not being sold here or anything or like that. And you're just like, oh, just out of curiosity, we're going to be doing work out. We're talking to a lot of your neighbors, giving them information and some pricing on that. Would you like some, which one of those, what you might look into next on your home, get information on? Or, we're going to be out here evenings, weekends, daytimes. You're still using the same script, alternative choice questions, but I did it in a very subtle, kind of very casual way. And that's one of the key pickups that I want you to notice in the video of how to deal with the no soliciting. Hello, hi. Hi. Hi, good evening. I'm just dropping off a notification just to let you know we're going to be doing some work.
This is a no soliciting neighborhood.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, this all it is, I'm just dropping off notification. You can see right there we're going to be doing some work in the neighborhood. Might be some noise or dust. Just wanted to make sure you're aware of that on the home. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, great. And actually, since we're out here, we have been talking to a lot of your neighbors because we're doing work out here, and they're just curious of what that would cost on their home. Like I said, we do replace the windows, siding, doors, roofing on the home. I was just curious, off that list on the notification flyer, what do you think might be the next home improvement you might look into for your home?
Probably the roof, but I don't see us doing anything this year.
Oh, okay. Okay, no problem. Well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever had an estimate on the roof before? Hello, hi. Hi, good evening. I'm just dropping off a notification. Just to let you know we're going to be doing some work in the neighborhood. There might be some noise or dust. So here you go. We do replace some windows, siding, sunrooms, attic insulation. And since we're out here, we're letting people know that you might see your trucks or hear some noise or anything like that. We're actually giving people an idea what something like that might cost on their own home too, while we're out here anyways. I was just curious, off that list, what might be the next...
You saw my no solicitation sign, right?
I did see that. I did see that. Well, and the only reason is since we're dropping off the notification, letting people aware of what's going on. We're out here anyways, at least give you an idea or quote to get you the information. So I was just curious, off that list, what would be the next home improvement that down the road you might look into on your home?
Replacement windows?
Oh, okay. Have you ever had an estimate on your windows before?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, we're actually going to be out here evenings, daytimes, weekends. When's usually the best time to catch you?
Evenings.
Evenings? Okay. And I have the street number 2824, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Dealing with knocking on someone's door and they won't open the door. You know they're inside the house. They're even asking you sometimes when they have that entry door that's closed, a thick entry door, and they're yelling through the door going, what do you want? What is this? Well, what happens a lot, especially with newer canvassers, is they'll go, okay, well, they won't open the door, so I'll just try to talk through the door. Let me tell you, there's nothing that makes you feel more just insecure and feel down on yourself than talking to a door. I mean, come on. So we don't want to do that. If they're not willing to even crack open the door and hear what you have to say, or try to yell through the door, it's not worth your time. And if you haven't earned the right to get them to open the door, move on to the next house. But the key point is, if you notice in the video, is I'm holding that. They're either looking through a peephole or a side glass window or something like that. And I'm using my body language to go, here, take it off. This is a notification. Again, I'm not trying to sell you anything. Here you go. And a lot of times, just by the body language, handing it off to the door, they'll now, by doing that, they'll assumptively crack open the door and grab this. This happens with kids all the time. They're with kids and they have toys and they walk up to you and they hand it to you. What does everyone do? They take the toy. If children can do this, you can do this.
Hello?
Hello?
Who is it?
Hi, I have a notification out here. There's some construction work going on here, so I just want to drop this notification. Here you go.
What is it?
Hello, hi, good evening. It's just a notification here. There's construction going on here in your neighborhood. As you can see right here, there's the notification. We're going to be doing some work. There might be some noise or dust going on in the neighborhood, so just wanted you to be aware of that, of what's happening. We do replacing windows, siding, sunrooms, a basement, remodeling, waterproofing, pretty much everything inside, outside of the home. And there might be some noise or dust, okay? Oh, in the meantime, since we're going to be out here, we've actually scheduled several appointments for free estimates with many of your neighbors. So just out of curiosity, off that list of those home improvements, what might be the next one you might look into for your home?
Windows?
Windows? Okay. Great. We're actually going to be out here giving people pricing on that. Are you generally around in the evenings or is daytimes good for you?
Evenings.
Evenings? Okay, and I have the street number here at 2824. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Taking a look at some techniques that you can use and add this to already the introduction in step one, but it's more of an advanced stage because one of the keys of your introduction at the door is going to be that first impression. When we're canvassing, you got about 10 to 15 seconds to make that first impression, to grab the homeowner's attention. And so when you mastered the original introduction, you can add a couple of these techniques in there to really enhance as far as getting their attention and grabbing that at the front door. And it actually makes it seem like you're part of the neighborhood. You know what's going on. You're very comfortable. You're not so much trying to be a salesperson. So these are a couple added techniques that you're going to use and incorporate with your canvassing system in the introduction at the door. Hello.
Hello.
Hi there. Hi, good evening. I'm just dropping off a notification that we're going to be doing work right over at 2730 Walter Road. Do you know where that's at?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just next street over. We actually replaced their gutters with a leaf protection system that prevents the leaves from going in there. And we're just dropping off notification, just letting people know we're going to be doing work in the neighborhood.
Okay.
In the meantime, since we're out here, we've actually given out free estimates of what something like that might cost in their own home. So I'm just curious, are you generally around in evenings or is daytimes a better time to catch you?
We wouldn't be interested.
Okay, no problem. Well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever had an estimate on the leaf protection gutters before? Hello, hi.
Hi.
Hi, good evening. Hi, do you know Bob and Carol, 2 houses down the blue house over there?
Yeah.
Okay, the reason why I ask is we're actually going to be out there on Wednesday evening. We actually are going to be doing work in the neighborhood, but we're also giving out free estimates. We do everything from replace the windows, siding, bathroom, bathtub liners, to leak protection gutters, to sunrooms on the home. And while we're out here, we're actually giving out free estimates. I was just curious, off that list, what do you think might be the next home improvement you might look into for your home?
Oh, we couldn't afford anything this year.
Oh, okay. No problem. Well, let me, just out of curiosity, down the road, off that list, what do you think might be the next home improvement that you would look into?
The windows.
The windows? Okay. Have you ever had an estimate on the windows before?
No.
No. Hello. Hi there. Hi. Hi, I'm just dropping off a notification. I don't know if you heard about down the street the break-in that happened.
No.
Oh yeah, there was a break-in, and we installed a new security system for them, and just dropped off that notification. While we're out here, we're talking to all the neighbors, giving them quotes and information on the security system for their own home. So we're going to be actually out here, I know, the rest of this week, during the day, evenings, even this weekend, just giving folks an idea or quote what it would be for a new security system. Are you generally around in evenings, or is daytimes a good time to catch you?
Evenings.
Evenings? Okay, great. Well, we'll get you that information so you have that. Now, I have your street number here at 2824. Is that right?
Yes.
So you see with the advanced introductions that you used, a lot of them really just incorporate just an added question into the introduction, and it grabs their attention. But you're one example using if you got a lead, a house or 2 houses, it could be 20 houses down, and you start name dropping. It's like you actually know more people probably in the neighborhood than they do, and that's a very powerful technique. It's like you've been out here, and it really adds into, we have been talking to your neighbors, they are getting estimates, so it really adds a lot more credibility too. So those are the benefits of not only attention, but it gives that neighborhood feel. You're not a stranger in the neighborhood, you're part of the neighborhood. In these next videos, you're going to see how to do the no response when you ask the question, have you ever had an estimate, apply to a wide variety of different home improvements and services. Now, you know, with the familiar theme, no matter how you address the no response, is very simply, you ask them, when you ask them have they ever had an estimate, you go, the only reason why I asked, I spoke to a lot of your neighbors and they have, and you just addressed a similar older situation that they have on their home. And then you go and apply all the problems that the neighbors told me. Not you didn't tell them, the neighbors told me about that. And you list everything that's wrong with their current situation. And then you say, we're out here helping solve those problems, giving out information and pricing on that. And then you ask for the appointment. Are you going to be around evenings, daytimes, weekends? So let's take a look at, and you'll see a wide variety of all different products and services and how it fits in and applies into the exact same theme that you use every single time with the no response. Have you ever had an estimate on basement remodeling before?
No.
The only reason why I ask, I've spoken to many of your neighbors, and they have the same original order basements, and all complain about the same thing. Just being underused, outdated layouts, uncomfortable, not to mention lack of functionality and need of more space. We're simply coming out offering affordable solutions that will solve those problems. So with that in mind, you generally around in evenings, or is daytime's the best time to catch you?
Evenings.
Evenings? Great, well, we'll get you that information. Now, I have the street number here at 2824. Have you ever had an estimate on getting your bathtub or shower with a brand new liner?
No.
Okay. The only reason why I ask, I've spoken to many of your neighbors, and they have the original bathtub and showers, and they're all complaining about the same thing. Just being outdated, but in addition to that, the peeling, the discoloring, the cracking, and just really the lack of functionality. We're simply coming out offering affordable solutions to solve all those problems. So with that in mind, you generally around in the evenings, or is daytime's better for you?
Evenings.
Evenings? Great, we'll get you that information. Now, I have the street number here at 2824, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had an estimate on your bathroom before?
No.
The only reason why I ask, I've spoken to a lot of your neighbors, and they have the same original order bathrooms, and they're all complaining about the same thing. Just being outdated, the crumbling, grout, stains, discoloring, peeling, cracking, not to mention lack of functionality and need of more space. We're just simply coming out offering affordable solutions to help solve those problems. So with that in mind, generally around in evenings, or is daytime's better for you?
Evenings.
Evenings? Great. Now we'll get you that information. The street number here is at 2824, is that right?
Yes.
Have you ever had an estimate on a deck or patio in the back?
No.
The only reason why I ask, I spoke to many of your neighbors, and they all have the similar type of outdoor living space, and they all complain about the same thing. Just the outdated design and functionality, and they're just not being able to enjoy the outdoors, cookouts, having guests over. We're simply offering affordable solutions to help solve those problems. So with that in mind, you generally around in evenings, or is daytime's a better time to catch you?
Evenings.
Evenings? Great. We'll get you that information. I have the street number here at 2824, is that right? Have you ever had an estimate for an addition to your home?
No.
The only reason why I ask is I spoke to a lot of your neighbors and complained about different areas of the home just being underused, outdated, segregated, not to mention just need more space and added functionality to the home. So we're simply coming out offering affordable solutions to solve those problems. So with that in mind, you generally are around for evenings, daytimes, weekends. When's usually the best time to catch you?
Evenings.
Evenings? Okay. Now you have your street number at 2824, is that right?
That's right.
Okay. Approximately what age do you think your heating system is?
15, maybe 17 years old.
Okay, and have you ever had an estimate on that before?
No.
Okay. The only reason why I ask, I spoke to a lot of your neighbors who have similar age heating systems, and they're all complaining about the same thing. Just with the inefficiency, clogged pipes, leaking, smells, noise, condensation, not to mention having different types of ventilation in different rooms at different temperatures, not really matching up with the thermostat, and resulting in higher energy bills. We're simply coming out offering affordable solutions to help solve those problems. So with that in mind, we're going to be around the evenings or daytimes. When's usually the best time to catch you?
Evenings.
Evenings? Great. We'll get you that information. I have the street number here at 2824. Is that right?
That's right.
Have you ever had an estimate on your kitchen before?
No.
The only reason why I ask, I've spoken to a lot of your neighbors, and they have the same original order kitchens, and they're all complaining about the same thing. The outdated appliance, cabinets, and layouts. Not to mention the lack of functionality and need of more space. We're just simply coming out offering affordable solutions to solve those problems. So with that in mind, you generally around the evenings, or is daytime's the best time to catch you?
Evenings.
Evenings? Great. Well, we'll get you that information. Now I have the street number here at 2824.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had an estimate on your roof before?
No.
The only reason why I ask is I spoke to many of your neighbors and they have the same older roofing and they're all complaining about the same thing. With the shingles curling, deteriorating, possible wood rot, not to mention lack of proper ventilation with the roof. So we're simply offering affordable solutions to help solve those problems. So with that in mind, you generally around in evenings or is daytime's a better time to catch you?
Evenings.
Evenings? Okay, great. We'll get you that information. Now you have the street number here, 2824, is that right?
Right.
Have you had your roof inspected since the storm came through?
No.
The reason why I ask, I spoke to many of your neighbors and they're all complaining about the damage that happened to the shingles of the roof from the storm. Not to mention, most didn't even realize until we actually did the inspection the amount of damage to the shingles that's not even visible from the ground level. Each slope of the roof during the inspection is inspected to check for bruising and cracking that can seriously reduce the life and effectiveness of the roof. Since we're going to be out here anyways, we're having our insurance repair specialists to help identify and show solutions to solve those problems. So with that in mind, generally around in evenings or is daytime's better for you?
Evenings.
Evenings? Great. Now I have your street number here at 2824, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had an estimate on a security system for your home?
No.
Right. The only reason why I ask, I spoke to a lot of your neighbors and they're all complaining not having access to a security system that is convenient, has remote control access, not to mention it will be able to save you a substantial amount of money in your homeowner's insurance. We're simply coming out offering affordable solutions to help solve those problems. So with that in mind, you generally around in evenings or is daytime's a good time to catch you?
Evening.
Evenings? Great. And I have your street number here at 2824, is that right?
Right.
Have you ever had an estimate on your aluminum siding before?
No.
Okay. The only reason why I ask, I spoke to many of your neighbors, they have the same type of siding, and they're all complaining about the same thing, with the denting, the scratching, the oxidizing, the chalking, not to mention lack of insulation resulting in high energy bills. We're simply coming out offering affordable solutions to eliminate all those problems once and for all. So with that in mind, you generally around in evenings or is daytime's a better time to catch you?
Evenings.
Evenings? Great. We'll get you that information. Now I have your street number here at 2824, right?
Right.
Have you ever had an estimate on your siding before?
No.
Okay. The only reason why I ask, I spoke to many of your neighbors, and they have the same type of wood siding. They're all complaining about the same thing. Just the chipping, the peeling, the flaking, not to mention it's just an ongoing maintenance nightmare. We're simply coming out offering affordable solutions to eliminate all those problems once and for all. So with that in mind, you generally around in evenings or is daytime's better for you?
Evenings.
Evenings? Okay, great. We'll get you that information. I have the street number here at 2824, right?
Right.
Have you ever had an estimate on a sunroom or enclosure?
No.
The only reason why I ask is I spoke to many of your neighbors, and they have the similar type of outdoor space, and they're all complaining that they're just not getting the use out of it in this area in the country. They're complaining about the mosquitoes, the bugs, the wind, the weather, just not being able to enjoy the outdoors. So we're simply offering affordable solutions to help solve those problems. So with that in mind, are you generally around in evenings or is daytime's better for you?
Evenings.
Evenings? Great. Well, we'll get you that information. I have your street number here at 2824. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had an estimate on waterproofing your basement?
No.
The only reason why I ask, because I have spoken to many of your neighbors, and they have the same original order basements, and they're all complaining about the same thing, with seeing some crack, leaking, future problems, maybe possibly causing mold. We're simply coming out offering affordable solutions to help dry up and fix those types of problems, the potential so you can use the basement for more living space. So with that in mind, you generally around in evenings or is daytime's better for you?
Daytime.
Daytimes? Okay. And we'll get you that information. I have the street number at 2824. Is that right?
Yes.
Have you ever had an estimate on attic insulation before?
No.
The only reason why I ask is I've spoken to many of your neighbors and they have pretty much the same type of attic with the builder grade type of insulation, and they're all complaining about the same thing with the drafts, the hot and cold spots, not to mention the high energy bills. We're just simply coming out offering affordable solutions to help solve those problems. So with that in mind, are you generally around in evenings or is daytime's better for you?
Evenings.
Evenings? Great. Well, we'll get you that information. Now I have your street number here at 2824. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still in Maple, correct?
Right.
We looked at how to handle advanced objections or scenarios with the introduction. We're also going to take a look at how to handle some objections when you're dealing that throughout the rest of the presentation. So it's more of an advanced technique, but one of the main points and the key points that I want you to notice is just like the introduction, is I stayed within the system of how to handle these objections. And that's going to be the key. You don't have to memorize all these different scenarios of how to apply them. Stick with the system, but just more of an understanding of how to handle those within the system. So you don't have to worry about handling them individually. You just work the system. There's going to be times when you apply the technique, when you're booking the appointment, you've done your introduction or you've asked for the appointment, and they didn't give you an objection, or there wasn't an objection. So you go right into booking the appointment, which you start off with the rule of 6. You start going, step 1, this is street number 1247, is that right? And you might get to the second, the street name. But then they kind of cut you off and going, well, why are you asking me all this information? Why are you asking that? You just come back and say, oh, we're going to come out and get you that information on whatever the product or service or whatever you're there for. And then they'll come out, and now they'll be strong because they're very passive. They didn't give you that objection, and they'll give you a real objection. They'll give you, well, we can't afford anything. We're not going to do anything. We're not interested. Well, now I've got a real objection. And this is actually a good thing, because many times when you do that introduction, you'll be outside the introduction and you never got an estimate. They're just passive because you're so strong in your introduction. And then they finally get you one when you're trying to book the appointment and get their information. But keep in mind, where did you leave off with the system? You did the intro, and then you step 1, and then you went into booking the appointment. Well, now you got the objection. So you got to go back to where you left off and go to step 2, which is the transition question of their objection. Whether you just simply ask them, hey, let me ask you a question. Have you ever had an estimate on whatever product or service you're talking about? So that's the key. And now you just go right through the funnel that you exactly did. If you get an objection, you go to step 3, the no and yes response. If you don't get an objection, then go right back to booking the appointment where you left off from the street address where you were. So you see how it is people think, oh, I'm getting this crazy objection, or when I'm going to be getting it. It's really no different. You didn't get the objection until you started booking it, because we're not going to sit there and wait. We're going to take the appointment. So, but you never deviated. There wasn't 37 responses. You got to remember, you go right back into where you left off and stick to the system, and that will make you very successful. And to think about it that way, and it'll be easier as far as the memorization process and delivering and overcoming objections. Many times when you're setting an appointment, you'll get, when there's a couple together and you're only talking to one, is they're going to use the, I got to talk to my spouse, or in addition to that, it's just going to be me. I don't need my spouse here. So you're kind of dealing with that situation where you're kind of not sure what's going to be happening with the other spouse. So now you can get that objection in many different ways. Now, if you're getting that at the beginning and they're saying, well, I got to talk to my spouse, we taught you how to go back into just start booking the appointment and that sort of thing. Even if they say, oh, they would agree to the appointment, you start writing it up and scheduling, and then you get to them in your spouse's name and they go, why do you got to get that information? It's just going to be me. I don't need her. I make all the decisions. A lot of times when canvassers get stuck and like, oh my gosh, how do I handle this? The first thing you always want to do is just ignore it. When those scenarios, just ignore them all the time. Let them think what they're going to get. Okay, let's just worry about when that's going to happen. So just ignore that. A lot of times you can ask, well, just so you know when we're out here, just so we know that there's a spouse or who she is, we're comfortable. Do you have your spouse's name? Well, what's her name? And a lot of times they'll get that information. They fight you even more on that, but like, okay, that's fine, and move on. Go into the product, and then going, well, when are you going to be around? When's the time you're going to be around? And find that out. A lot of times they're going to be home around the same time the spouse is going to be, but at least you got a time that they told you they're going to be around. Then you ask them very, very simply, going, listen, you justify one of the reasons why you got to have the other spouse there. Is we're not going to take a lot of time, but we have samples, there's colors, there's differences, there's a lot of different factors that affect the pricing. The only thing we want to do is why we show these samples, and we know just by a lot of times the other spouse just wants to see what it looks like or have an idea. That's the only reason. Is she going to be here at the same time, at least to take a look at that? And a lot of times they'll agree upon that, and they'll be easy because we're not making it a big deal. We just want, and it only makes sense that both can take a look at it. So we don't have to come back because and then the other spouse has a bunch of questions and we got to answer it. We can address it right there and then. So you see, a lot of times dealing with that objection is just ignore it. And get to it until you finally have all their information, you got a good appointment time, everything like that, then you can deal with that. Key, if you notice a trend here, get the information, get that first, and then handle those little tricky scenarios of dealing with the spouse or getting both there at the same time. Hello, hi. Hi, good evening. I'm just dropping off a notification, just to let you know we're going to be doing some work in the neighborhood. Might be some noise or dust. Here you go. We do replacement windows, siding, doors, gutters with the leak protection, also sunrooms, patio rooms. And since we're going to be out here, we've actually scheduled several appointments for free estimates with many of your neighbors. So with that in mind, off that list, what do you think might be the next home improvement that you might look into for your home?
Oh, I'd have to discuss it with my husband.
Oh, okay, no problem. Well, let me ask you, just out of curiosity, if off that list, if you know what you know now, what do you think might be the next thing you possibly may look into?
Well, we kind of talked about replacing the doors.
Oh, okay, okay. Great. Well, we're going to be out here giving out free estimates. Are you folks generally around in the evening, or is daytime's better for you?
Oh, I'd have to talk with my husband before.
Okay. Well, we can actually get that information to your husband. Is your husband generally around in the evenings or daytimes?
Evening.
Evenings? Great. Now you have your street number here at 2824. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And I'm still in Maple. Is that correct?
That's right.
All right. And that's Avenue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'm still in Cleveland?
Yes.
All right. And the zip code is 44126, right?
Right.
Okay. Now the home area code in this area is still 216, right?
It is.
Okay. And the remainder of the number?
555.
Okay.
1234.
All right. And is there an alternative number, like a cell or work number that's good for you? Is this
216.
It's 216 area code? Okay.
Mhm.
And the remainder?
798
Okay.
0986.
All right. And your name?
I'm Mary
Mary? And your last name, Mary?
Smith.
Smith? And your husband's name?
Paul.
Paul? Okay. And now you mentioned doors. Was it the entry doors, like right here behind you?
Yes.
Okay. How many of those are you looking to get an estimate on?
2.
2? All right. And also the storm door?
Yeah.
Okay. And 2 for storm doors?
Yes.
Okay. And now you said evening is the best time to catch you, Paul?
Yes,
okay.
it is.
Actually, what time do you folks generally get home? Or you're home?
5:30ish.
5:30ish? Okay. I actually have an opening on Tuesday and Wednesday at 6. Which one of those days do you think might be best for you?
Wednesday.
Wednesday? Okay. All right. And has anyone ever give you a quote on the doors, or ever looked into that before?
No.
Okay. No? All right. And, all right. Well, I just need your initial here at the bottom that the information's correct and I spoke to you. And it'd be okay to give you a courtesy call if we need to. Sometimes you might run into a scenario where the homeowner, wants the information, but they don't want to sit down and have a sales appointment. They're basically, send me the information, send me a brochure or something like that. They're not willing to take it to that next level. Again, stay with the same techniques. Get the information. If you want to make them believe, great, we'll get you that information, that sort of thing. But then you're justifying why we have to sit down and talking to them. We have to take a look at their current situation. We have all different types of factors, style, color, quality differences that make the impact. Or again, we're not going to take much of your time, but we just got to ask you a few questions, take a look at it, and then we can give you specific information, exactly what it would be for your home and fit your situation. But again, you're sticking with the same technique. A lot of times it's just ignore it and get their information, let them believe what they want to believe, and then we justify and overcome that. Because now we deal with the position of power. We have all their information. We can follow them. They're showing an interest if they want us to send us information. But we don't want to kind of hurt this lead and try to jam it down their throat. Let's take it subtly and build up to it and justify why we need to have both of them there. And if you do that properly, it works for you. Hello, hi. Hi, good evening. Just dropping off a notification that we're going to be doing some work in the neighborhood. And there might be some noise or dust. Here you go.
Okay.
We do replacement windows and doors. In the meantime, since we've done work, we're going to be actually scheduled several appointments for free estimates with many of your neighbors. So with that in mind, you generally around in evenings like this, or is daytime's a good time to catch you?
Just put it in the mailbox.
Oh, okay, absolutely. We'll get you that information. Hold on one second. Let me make sure I get your contact information. I got 2824. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. And I'm still in Maple, correct?
Correct.
And that's Avenue, right?
Right.
Okay. And the city's still Capitol Heights.
Yes.
Okay. And the zip is 44116?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the home area code in this area is still 202. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. And the remainder of the number?
555
Uh-huh.
1234.
Okay. And is there an alternative number or a work number, anything that you prefer? That's the best?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, great. And your name?
I'm Beth
Beth? And your last name, Beth?
Myers, Meyers.
Okay. And is there a spouse?
Paul,
Okay, Paul. All right. And about how many windows do you have on the home?
about 10.
You have 10 windows?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. And let's see here. Well, the one thing here is when we actually come out, like I said, we're going to be out here in the evenings, afternoons, weekends, any of that sort of thing. We just need to get a chance to actually measure the windows. And we have actually some samples because there's a different quality, styles, colors that kind of affect the pricing. Once we get that, show you the samples, everything like that, then we can actually give you the pricing. So is there a time that both you and Paul are going to be around? We can ask you a few questions. You can kind of narrow it down so we can get you an exact price.
Evenings.
Evenings?
Best time to get us.
Okay. I have actually opening on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Tuesday,
Tuesday? All right. What time do you folks normally get home?
around 6.
Around 6? I have an opening at 7 on Tuesday.
Okay.
Okay. All right. And has anyone ever given you an estimate before on the windows?
No.
No? Okay. All right. Well, I just need your authorization here that I spoke to you.
Okay.
And so we can get you the information. It'll be okay to give you a courtesy call if we need to be. Now, an objection that comes up is sometimes run into a situation where you have someone who's the do-it-yourselfer type, and they do that type of work, or they have the relative or friend in the business that does all their home improvements, does that work for them. So how do you handle that? Well, you're still gonna stick into the system. Now, depending where you get that scenario, where you actually really want to address that is going to be in step 4, okay? So even if they say right off the bat, I do that work myself, or you did this right after the introduction, you still want to ask the same question. That's an objection. You have to deal with that. So you go, well, have you ever had an estimate? They answer the same way everyone answers it, whether they're do-it-yourself or they have a friend or relative in the business or they don't have any of those. No or yes, right? So you handle, and if it's no, you got to establish that need. Yes, you ask the questions, whatever that might be. But then you go into step 4, and this is where you tie it into. Because think about it, it's really just, if they were going to do it themselves, it's because they could probably save money to do it. That's why we want to show them how it could be affordable to have a company, a professional company, come out and do this. We get tied into the feel, felt, found. I understand how you feel. We had a lot of customers that felt the same way. They were pretty handy themselves, or they had friends and relatives in the business. But what they found out is we're a very unique company because we don't advertise on multimedia advertising. We use people just like myself. Do you notice how I do it? And then I go right into the incentives and the programs. I handled the same way. I just twisted it and geared it instead of being people didn't think they could afford it, or they didn't think it would be this year. I just added the do-it-yourself or a friend and a relative in the business. And again, it's same theme. I'm not going outside the system. Yeah, it might be the do-it-yourself or whatever, but they all get plugged into the feel, felt, found, and it's actually the specific part is the felt. They felt the same way. They can do it themselves, or they had friends or relatives, or they didn't think it was going to be affordable this year. You all tie those same objections right into that scenario. And you notice I kind of ignored that right at the beginning because I stuck with the system. So with that in mind, are you generally around the evenings, or is daytimes better for you?
My brother's a contractor.
Okay. Well, I understand how you feel. Actually, a lot of our customers felt the same way. They either had a friend or a relative who was in the business, but what they found out is we're a very unique company because we don't advertise entirely in TV and radio like a lot of companies. We use people just like myself to pass out flyers around the neighborhood. By doing that, we can pass on savings and quality just like doing it yourself without passing those high advertising costs. In fact, what a lot of customers that took advantage of our advertising home program, we're looking for someone in the neighborhood to do the exact same thing. By helping us advertise, once we finish the work, we let us put a sign in the front yard. We take before and after pictures. You write us a testimonial, and we can use those in our mailers or flyers just like the one in your hand. It can save a substantial amount of money by doing that. In addition to that, you get a lifetime warranty. You get a 24-hour service hotline. Those are simply services and guarantees you just can't get by doing it yourself or having a relative do it. So like I said, we're going to be out here evenings, daytimes. When would be a good chance to show you the difference?
Evenings?
Evenings? Great. Well, we'll get you that information. I got the street number here at 2824. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. Okay, so when canvassing, you're going to run across this. They're going to come to you and say, we're moving. Wow, they just thought they just got you off the front porch. There's nothing you can do about that. Why would someone invest in their home and do all these home improvements if they're going to be moving, right? Wrong. Think about this scenario. Why you want to think about this and address it. First of all, I'm going to tell you when to address this objection. And surprisingly, it's the same scenario that you address anything else. You're going to address it, ignore it typically if it comes up earlier, but it goes right into step 4, the feel, felt, found. You added right into it. I understand how you feel. A lot of our customers felt the same way. They were thinking about moving, but what they found out is, and you can tailor a couple things with this. Number one is a lot of people think they're going to move and they don't end up moving as soon as they thought they were going to move. So you can enjoy the benefits, whether your products have energy savings every month on a daily basis, but also increases the value of your home, and it helps to sell the home sooner. So that's a great advantage of why getting these home improvements, build curb appeal, whatever that might be. So that's how you address that. And a lot of times you'll be surprised at how many people really go, yeah, that makes sense. And again, I didn't veer from the system. I stuck it right into the system, specifically step 4, feel, felt, found. Hello, hi, good evening. Just dropping off notification that we're going to be doing some work in the neighborhood, and you might hear some noise or dust. There you go. We do replace windows and doors. In the meantime, we've actually scheduled several appointments for free estimates with many of your neighbors. So with that in mind, you generally around in evenings like this, or is daytime's a better time to catch you?
Actually, we're planning on moving.
Oh yeah, where are you heading to?
Not sure.
Not sure? Oh, okay. Well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever had an estimate on the windows before?
Yes.
Oh, really? Do you remember how long ago that was?
Year and a half or 2.
Oh, okay. Do you remember who came out and gave you the estimate?
I think it was ABC Builders.
Oh, okay. And do you recall even how much they were even asking?
No. But it doesn't really matter because we're planning on moving.
Oh, okay. I understand how you feel. Actually, a lot of our customers felt the same way. They were thinking about moving. But what they found out is that by doing things like replace the windows, not only increases the value of the home if they do sell it, so they can sell it sooner and for more money, but also if they do stay, it saves a lot of money in their energy bills, maintenance costs. And like I say, one of the things is we do business a little bit different. We're very unique. We don't advertise entirely in TV and radio like a lot of companies. We just pass out flyers around in the area. By doing that, we can pass on savings and quality where a lot of those companies pass on those high advertising costs. In addition to that, we have an exposure home program where once we do some work, we actually, if you let us use your home to advertise by putting a sign in the front yard, we take before and after pictures and pass out flyers and mailers out in the area letting people know we're doing work. You can save a substantial amount of money. Plus, we have great financing programs, 6-month no interest, low monthly investments. And in addition to that, you can finally get the most problematic windows, help sell the home, and as long as you stay, you're saving a lot of money on your energy bills. So we're going to be out here evenings, daytimes, weekends. When's a good time we can show you those programs?
Evenings?
Evenings? Okay, great. This is 2824, right?
Yes.
I've given you the blueprint and the techniques that are going to be used to become successful in canvassing. One thing that I know, that this isn't just to be seen one time, this training video, or heard. You need to use this on a repetition to constantly be practicing and learning. Keep in mind, this is over 16 years of my experience that I put on this training video or CD for you to become successful. But I didn't learn this overnight. It was learned by experience and repetition and going over and over and practicing to become better. And you know what? Even all the time that I have and how I've mastered this skill, I still practice day in and day out on canvassing. The day you quit practicing, the day you think you've got it all figured out, guess what? You don't. Is just like a professional athlete. They constantly are practicing and working. They've done these skills and techniques all their life, and they've become the top of their game. But they know in order to maintain that and always to improve, there's never going to be a limit to how good you can become. Is going to be the key. And keep in mind, once you master these skills, I'm going to ask you to do this, and I mean this with all sincerity. Is You need to teach this to other people. Because once you teach and coach and role play and help other people, that helps you become very successful. You'll become a master of what you do by teaching other people. It'll take your system and to a whole nother level by teaching and coaching other people. So remember, repetition is the key, but take this and apply this out in the field and you will become successful canvassing.